Peace. Peace, peace, peace. What's good, everybody? Hope everybody's doing well. I'm doing well. Hold on, I'm gonna share. Share this going out. I don't know. It's not letting me share. Where's the share thing? Peace. Ali, peace. What's going on? I don't want to bring nobody onto my live and we talk about what we gonna talk about because you know I don't go all over the place in what I talk about. I'm freestyling. Today is a conscious freestyle. You know what I mean? I'm talking about not anything, but basic things that people with a conscious mind is going to want to talk about. You know what I mean? These type of issues. It's not really. I don't want to talk about. I don't want to talk about no foolishness. You know what I mean? Like current fake events and stuff like that. I ain't really into that. Or talking about disputes between rappers and entertainers and all that kind of stuff. I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about stuff that's relevant. You know what I mean, to people's true consciousness and the upgrading of the software of their brains. So that's really what I want to talk about in this conscious freestyle. You know what I mean? The last time I was on, I think I talked about. I really talked about six things actually, but history being changed, people being originally being moved from their original places, fear mongering. There's a few things I talked about, but these are things, and I just want to bring up. A lot of times I'll be glad when I because I follow people and I listen to their talks and lectures and their lives and all that stuff too. So I feel good. I feel good about myself when sometimes some of the things that I spoke on is in alignment with what they was talking about. It makes me feel like I'm kind of on the right track for my own self, especially being I'm the kind of person I don't really have nobody holding my hand. You know what I mean on this run. You know what I mean on this way. I have learned a lot of the new knowledge that I have. I learned it online. I learned it on TikTok, just like how somebody's probably looking at me. It's the same way that I watched others, sharing their experience. You know what I mean? Sharing their knowledge. You know what I mean? And I have increased myself by way of that. So I'm definitely the one to tell you that you can learn a lot from social media. You know what I mean? You just can't. It is what it is. Because really social media is going to give you what mainstream is not. And most of the people that got enough courage to go against the grain and speak about serious things, they the ones that you need to get behind. Well, not get behind, get with, and ride with it, um, yeah, basically. But I was watching a brother I've been following for some years now, and really I learned a lot. I learned a lot from this brother. He's a Moorish brother like myself, and he's actually probably the biggest influence on me becoming, a more, out in the open, because really people that's Moorish, we genetically, I always was genetically a Moor, you know what I mean? But through knowledge, and you start understanding things on a different level. Like just on a different level, historically, spiritually. But genetically, I always was a Moor, but I just didn't know it. Because mainstream indoctrination had me thinking, that I was black, or that I was an African American or Afro American, and my mother and father, my grandparents, when they were born, they were considered colored people and stuff like that, because that's on their birth certificates. Well, all this different stuff, is programming. But I had to learn outside the box that that's not what I was. Well, that's not what I am, and I learned that, and I learned it on social media. So that's just like if somebody. Same thing as when people find Christ, find religion or find Allah and His Messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and they find mainstream Islam. It's the same thing. You can find these things and acquire a lot of knowledge about these things on social media. It is what it is. So, basically today just freestyle talk, coming to you from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Hit that like button for me. Hit that like button for me. But I was listening to I watched a lecture. It's the brother who I was ready to say his name. The brother's name is Asir. Asir, the Duke of Tears. He's very knowledgeable brother on just so much. I mean, the brother is knowledgeable. If you really want to get into the conscious world, that's his channel on YouTube. Remember, Asir, the Duke of Tears, will be a good start for you. I mean, and he's he's passionate about what he does, and that's why I was kind of like, when I first heard the first time I heard one of his lectures, the first thing I thought to myself, I was like, this brother, he's smart, right? I was just like, this nigga smart, right? And I really appreciate, but how we talk when we you know what I'm saying? But I was like, this nigga was smart as a motherfucker, right? And he had his stuff together. And as time went on and me just continuously listening to his works, he grew. My respect for him grew even more. So, but he's definitely one of the people that I would advise people to follow and to listen to his lectures. And it don't matter whether you're melanated or non-melanated, because he's definitely a historian on non-mainstream history. So if you just want to learn some things and get pointed in the direction of certain stuff with dealing with history, Asir is his YouTube page is a good page to follow. Another brother I've benefited from, especially dealing with Moorish science and the Moorish paradigm, is older brother Taj Tariq Bey. Also, he's very, very, very highly intelligent. Like he's like these brothers is like genius status, and they definitely they can walk you. They're gonna when they talk, they're gonna walk you into a rabbit hole. So you have to, and by being prepared for it, you wouldn't even be going to their pages or listening to something along those lines if you're not built for the rabbit hole. So it's definitely that type of ride once you latch on to that type of information, that type of learning. But yeah, but Asir, he dropped a lecture. Just I want to speak on it, and it was called. A brother had wrote a book. This other brother, he's not Moorish, but he wrote a book saying that Moor means dead. That was like the purpose of the that was the title of the book. But Asir gave it a breakdown of what he his breakdown of the book, and he brought up a lot of good points for us to get into, especially for people that's on non-mainstream stuff, meaning like stuff that's really deeply spiritual stuff, like especially dealing with our people and dealing with the people. And it's funny, I just listened to a lecture. This lecture is about 2 weeks old though, from another brother that's good for you to maybe follow his works. Rod Hayes. Rod Hayes is another one that's definitely on social media, dropping a lot of real information, and I advise myself and anybody want to listen, these people, I advise you to follow them more than you follow me, to the point of, because these are the people that they have the knowledge and they can articulate the knowledge better than me. So to get behind them, it would be a good thing. But when I speak about history being changed, these are the brothers that can really point you in the direction of books and different stuff like that. I can too, but not like these guys, not like these brothers. You know what I mean? And I respect their work. I respect what they've done, and I respect what they're doing, because in fact, and I think I'm smart. You know what I mean? But I'm right there with them. When I see something pop up with them with their name on it, I'm watching it. There ain't no question. I don't miss it. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of my advice is motivation. Motivation to leave off the fear of getting into the true stuff. Leave off the fear of getting into the real historical facts, the real historical information. Know thyself. Get into knowing yourself. We want to get away from all of the entertainment stuff. And I say this sincerely because I'm just like everybody else. You know what I mean? I've been, in fact, even my profession, I'm a boxing coach. I'm a boxing trainer, so I'm really like immersed in a world of dealing with a lot of stuff. Like dealing with a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? That affects the mind one way or the other. You know what I mean? So I battle with myself on a daily basis, just like the next person. So it's not like I ain't telling nobody, that I'm better than somebody else or this, that, and the third or whatever. No, I struggle with reality. Like I said, a lot of stuff being, not being good, and it is what it is. It's just not a lot of stuff that we really consume on a daily basis. It ain't good. It ain't good for us. You know what I'm saying? But I advise to a lot of different things. You know what I mean? Don't let nobody make you scared to get this true information that's out here, and it's for free right now. You ain't gotta travel. You ain't gotta travel to another land. You don't gotta go through what you had to go through 20, 30 years ago. To get a new book or volume 2. You had volume 1. I remember you had volume 1 5 years, 8 years, and you couldn't get volume 2 because it was that scarce or it just was hard to find. No, now this stuff, you go online and you get some of these historical books and different kind of lessons and different kind of stuff, man. You get this stuff online, man. You can get it in a PDF, man. You can download it into your Google file. And you don't even got to travel, or you don't got to pay no money for it. And stuff is so much available now. You know what I mean? This is why people being tested. The test now is the information being available, and people just don't want it. But I was living and remember a time when you couldn't find certain things. You had to travel. You had to travel to get stuff. I'm just saying because I come from a mainstream Islamic background, and even back then, with the Islamic information, but I was conscious of the conscious community and the different events used to always be happening. So that's why I always knew about certain stuff, but even though I may not necessarily wasn't into it, but I knew about it. And but you had to travel. You had to travel for stuff. You had to really go through a lot just to get a little bit of information. Whereas though now you can hear people speak, give classes and lessons on TikTok, on live. The same way the same way with Instagram, Facebook. You got a lot of different stuff. I don't care what it is. Health, fitness, history, whatever. It's all on here. You can get into it. And it's just an urging for myself too. I'm talking to myself. A lot of times when I'm talking, I ain't really talking. I'm talking to whoever. I see one person on here, yeah, and a couple people coming in and out. Yeah, I'm talking to that one person. Or I'm talking while along when I'm talking to myself, keep myself activated and on the right path. So that's basically why I do it. And it's not really about. It ain't really about the quantity of things, because the people that have affected my reality with what they was talking about and teaching, we man, you might as well say we're a million miles apart from each other. You know what I mean? But the work that they put in has affected a real person, meaning me, in my reality. So when you get into the each one teach one, it's real, because you never know who you could be affecting. Because I know the people that's closest to me, family members, friends, all the different stuff. I've talked to people about certain issues where I've changed my knowledge base and belief system about these issues, and they didn't want to hear it. And it's really it would be upsetting. It was more upsetting in the beginning than it is now. But I would get upset that they didn't want to accept the truth about certain things. And once I grew and I continued to grow, I started realizing that it ain't really about that. And then I used the parable of even me being a boxing coach. You notice that a lot of the fighters that's in the gym, the ones that have the most talent and the ones that you give the most attention to, sometimes them guys will only be the ones that be paying attention or really giving the 110% effort. To be a guy with hiding in the corner, listening to every word you saying, showing up every day, working hard. And those be the guys that you end up seeing turning the lessons into something. More so even than the talent guys. I'm just saying. And that's the truth. And I use that parable all the time with my own self. And when I talk about stuff of that, it'll be some of the guys that you perceive as being corny in the gym, but they got a good work ethic. They show up every day. They care about it. And they end up ultimately becoming more successful inside of boxing. But it's the same way. It's the same way in this thing here with the awakening of the people. Because a lot of times we be thinking that people be just even you got some smart religious people that refuse to get it about other things. And you be like, you wonder why, how they don't get this, man, how they don't get it, I don't understand it. But some things ain't, a lot of stuff ain't meant, everybody don't catch on at the same time anyway. Even with religion, a lot of people don't catch on at the same time. So it don't work like that. It don't work like that in nothing, for real. But there's just things that we have to consider. Hit the like button for me. Yeah, hit the like button for me. But that's those things that we have to consider when we when we advising and we jumping on here speaking and doing different stuff. Well, I'm just speaking. This is a platform for for speaking and speakers, stuff like that. But you know, um, even how like both brothers came with certain things, like the brothers said one thing about people that have come into like the higher knowledge, become watchers. And I went some years being that, meaning a watcher. Like, okay, transitioning out of the old dumb minded stuff, mainstream education, religion, and all that stuff. I come out of that, but still living the life of certain ways, certain things, because it's a part of my life. But knowing that certain stuff was a bunch of BS, right, and wasn't really correct, right. So I had some years. I had some good years recently. Well, that I was able to just watch the effects. The effects of the positive, the negative effects of being on certain forms of programming, and but not being affected by it, even though still being in the middle of it, community wise, and basically, being what they were describing, because Acer and Rod Hayes described the same thing about these people being watchers, but they also spoke about how there will come a stage where one has to do more than he's going to have to do more than be a watcher. They're going to have to come with what they got and what they know in order to firstly affect their people where they're at. Just affect the people of your particular world, your particular community. You know what I'm saying? So I would say I'm out of the watching stage. I don't I don't already went off script, so I ain't no need for me to hide and watch no more. I can talk about what I want to talk about. You know what I mean? And I can talk about it in the way that I want to talk about it. I'll say I am more conscious of the Creator now than I ever was. I'm more conscious of regarding my energy, and that also translates into guarding my chastity. And these are all aspects that I already had through religion, but by me having a deeper understanding of energy and how energy is affected by people and different things, I guard myself even more so than I did in my religious life. And I really would just I'm really just advising myself and anybody who want to listen to, don't be fearful of these changes when you go through these changes. If we have to allow ourselves to be guided by the right things, such as our intuition, our instincts, recognizing, getting back into reading the vibration of things, in which most of us we always did it, but we just did it in a way of we can maybe call it something different, vibe and all that stuff, right? But we always read vibes and stuff like that, and we always could read when things was not right, or if the situation was right, you know what I mean? So the success of the people is going to come by way of that, by way of the people understanding this dynamic. You know what I mean? And not looking forward to come out of a book, meaning the easiest 1, 2, 3 type thing. No, it don't work like that. It's easier than 1, 2, 3 if you're on the right frequency, if you're on the right vibe. But if you think that if you think these books can explain how you should feel, well, not feel, but I'm gonna use that word just for lack of a better one. If you use these books to try to break down how you feel about a certain thing, then you can make a lot of mistakes. You like not seeing things for what they are, because a lot of times we encounter people in just normal everyday dealings and the old ways, and we would come across dishonest people. We would see red flags in them, whether it be from our personal relationships, our business relationships, relationships with people dealing with religion, because I'm telling you, religion is one of the biggest weapons used against the people in our communities. It just is. There's no way around it. There's no way that you could dance around it. And, these talks, it takes a lot to even really to break down a thought, my particular understanding on certain things. It takes more than just one little sentence or not even one talk from issue to issue, because I don't call nobody to leave off their belief in the one true God, Allah. And from my life and my, God to us, we call God Allah. And so you may go around another group of people and they refer to the Most High Creator that created everything that exists. They might refer to him, her, it as another name. But me and my people, we refer to the God as Allah. So I'm not telling nobody not to believe in Allah or to not pray, to Allah, to the one true God. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is the aspects of you getting close to him, her, it, the ways to get close. There's so many more different ways that, we probably can't even enumerate these different ways. But it's just the same as similar to when you talk about public education systems and how the children are educated, how they're taught. But being as though the education systems have a certain way of teaching and then at the end testing, when you have children who are not able, you have children that every child don't learn the same way or at the same rate. So when you test them inside of a certain time period, but everybody has the same amount of time, and it don't mean that you slow or whatever, but they teach everybody the same, they test everybody the same, all of that. So a lot of people been misclassified being slow, just to use the word, just for like, but everybody know what I'm saying, or some kids been designated as having learning disabilities, and due to them being tested from this faulty system, and this deficient system had a lot of people down in life, being I'm gonna say diagnosed just because I can't think of a better word, but because it ain't like a sickness as we talking about education. But I'm just saying people been misdiagnosed with being some other kind of having a learning disability type time, right? But it ain't that. It's a deficiency in the systems of teaching. But using that as a parable next to spirituality and recognizing, you know, who and what the Most High Creator is, and your connection to Him. You know, there are formats, there are incomplete formats that have been made mainstream, and it's so much so that they even some of these systems have been elevated to the point where as though to discount and eliminate all other systems. To even say that the other ones, you know, this system is righteous and right, and this other system is blasphemous and it's no good, and all of the people that are on that, they ain't right. And truth be told, that's not correct. It's not correct because, and all of these systems have been changed. None of these systems is in their original form. But that's just something to think about when you weigh one thing next to each other, like how education is carried and how religion / spirituality is carried. And really, even with spirituality and religiousness or religiosity and all that stuff has really been separated, even though it was always all supposed to go together. But a lot of things been separated. So this is why other things, you know, things have been outlawed. But you know, the more conscious the higher your consciousness, the sharper you become, even inside of this backwards reality. Because you gotta watch out. You gotta watch out for the wave, for this new wave of you know, everybody's spiritual now, right? You know, you know, everybody's spiritual now, but which is hey, it's a good thing because the people. But that's why. But I try to advise people. Well, I can only advise people according to my life and my life experiences. Don't leave. Don't leave. I don't know. Maybe. Why the bird is singing?